Alright, and welcome to this tutorial. In this tutorial we're going to work through all of our methods in our posts controller. We already have a post model, so we don't have to worry about creating that. We already have our routes set up for us, and we don't have to worry about that. So the reason I'm going to do this is I'm going to do all the methods first, and then I'm going to do all the views, including the master page, and then anything else we need to do, I'll do in another video. So let's go ahead and get started. First I'm going to create a variable called post. Not post controller though. Called posts. Doesn't need to be capitalized, doesn't need to be plural, just post. And then I'm going to create a constructor, and this will allow us to streamline some things inside of our application. So function construct, and what we're going to use is we're going to use our post controller, or post, not controller, but post model, and we're going to assign a variable post. We're just going to say this post equals post. Okay. Now to our index method, and here aside here we want to return all of our posts inside this method. So when you go to, when I go to l4.dev/posts, I'll be presented with all the posts that we have. So, and you already see that's already hashed out, displaying a listing of the resource. So to do this, I'm just going to say this posts equals this post all, and I'll return all the posts, and we'll throw all that into a view. So we'll return view make, and we'll be using this view here, the index.blade. So to access that, we're just going to say posts, which is the folder it's in, then .index. And to use this variable, we're using the compact PHP keyword, which is pulls in all the variables, all the keys of the variables. I can't remember exactly what it does, but it's what I use now to pull all these variables, pull the variable itself, and that's that. Next, we'll use our create method here, and this is just going to return a view. So return view make, and it's going to be posts.create. So we're going to retrieve our create view, and that's good for that. So we're returning this view here. Now our function store, this is where we're actually going to store the post. So we'll get started with that. We'll say input equals input all, then we're going to validate, so v equals validator make, and it's going to be the input and post rules and post, we'll just leave it rules. I was going to create some custom messages, but we've already done that in another tutorial. We can just keep this simple. We'll just say if v, not capitalized though, passes. So if our validator passes, we're going to do something. And what we're going to do is this post create. And we use, this is the create method using Eloquent. So this post create, and we're going to grab all the input. and then we're going to return a redirect to a route. So redirect route, and it's going to be tweets.index. So redirected and back to tweets.index. If this fails, we're simply going to return not tweets index. I was working on a tweets Twitter type application, and then I decided just to make this post, so that's why I keep messing up. Redirect route, be posts.index, actually post.create. Post.create, I'll probably be messing up a lot more with that. We'll say with input, with errors, and we're just going to return the valid error, and then with any messages we might have. So with message, and let's say there were validation errors. Validation errors, and that's it for our store method. How much time we got left? 6. Next we're going to show, and this is going to be to show a single resource. So I'm going to say posts, actually post equals this post we're just going to say find or fail. So find or fail. So it's either going to find it or it's going to throw an error. So find or fail by ID. Next we're going to return this. So I'm going to say return view make, and it's going to be posts.show, which is the show view, and we're going to pass in that variable. So we use the compact again, say compact again, and just say compact, and it's going to say post singular. Next is the edit, so update. Actually, this is going to be the edit view. So post equals this post find, and then we're supposed to say ID. Now if it can't find this post, then we're just going to reroute them back to the index page. So to do that, we're just going to say if is null, and it's post. We are going to return redirect route, and it's going to be posts.index, post.index here. And if not, it's just going to return view make, and it's going to be posts.edit, which is the view, and we want to throw in the variable also, so compact, use compact and pass in the posts variable, and that's it for that. Next, our update function. To accomplish this, we're going to grab the ID of the post itself, and then pretty much just run the what we did for store. So I'm going to say input equals array, and this is a one of those Laravel, one of the actual Laravel things. I'll show you exactly what it does. I can't remember enough about it to, and it's a helper, and it's an array. I can't remember. Here it is. The method removes the given key value pairs from the array. So that's exactly what it does. And let's go back to it. So I'm actually working off the Twitter one I did, and I've just decided to make it posts. So that's not right. So we're going to grab input all from this. And we're just going to, this is just because the browser doesn't recognize the put and push, so this is just to, I guess, to spoof it. That's pretty much what it is. So anyways, you need it to work, so that's why I put it in there. So v equals validation, so we're going to create another validator here. And we're just going to do the same thing we did before, so input and post rules. We're going to make sure I put those rules in the model. So just getting the rules from the post model. And then here we go again. We're just going to say if v passes, we're going to do something. So if v passes, we are going to find this tweet. So, or actually this post equals this post find by ID and then post update ID by ID. Actually not ID, but input. So it's going to input, update it with the input that we have, and then we're going to return back to our show method. So return view make. This will be post dot show, post dot show, and the ID. Okay, so we're going to return that that ID and that post and show it. If not, we're just going to redirect it back to it anyway. So return, if it's got errors or anything that doesn't pass, we'll redirect to the route again. So return redirect route, and it's going to be posts dot edit, and this ID. I'm just going to say with input, with errors, passing the errors from the validator, and then with the message, and it's going to say there were validation errors. So validation errors. So that's our update function. And to delete, we're just going to simply say we're going to say this post find by ID, and then we're going to delete it. So delete. Let me close this first because that's not going to work. So, and then delete. There we go. Then we're going to return it back to the index. So return redirect to route, and it's going to be posts dot index. And there we go. So to go to real quick, quickly go over what we did in this tutorial. We went ahead and created our index. Here we're grabbing all the posts. We're throwing all those posts into a view and returning the view. Here we're returning our create view, so we return the a form that's going to allow us to create our post. In this method here, we're storing what we inputted here in the create method. So here we're grabbing all the input. Here we're creating a validator, which will accept the we're making a validator which will accept the input that we just pulled. So all the input, and it will validate those against the rules that we lay out in our post model. Here we're going to check and see if the validator passes. If it passes, we're going to take all these input and create and insert it into our posts into our post model, and then we're going to return the user to the index. Index view, and if it doesn't pass, we're just going to simply return. We're going to redirect them to the create method again, which is up here, with the original input with any errors and the error message. In this method, we're just going to show the individual post, and it's going to be by ID. So post, we're going to grab this post and we're going to find it or throw an error, and it's going to be ID. Actually, it's going to show a 404 page. Then we're just going to return the view with the variable. In this method here, we create a function to edit our post, and to do this, we're just going to get the post and find it by ID. If the post does not exist, we're going to turn the user back to the index. If it does exist, we're going to return the actual post into an edit view. Inside this method here, we're grabbing all the input and converting it, and we're using it in the method, this method here, to spoof. Because I think it's because HTML doesn't accept, most browsers don't accept the put or push method or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it's used for, but it has something to do with the push or put method of REST. So here we're just creating another validator, and we're grabbing all input. Make sure it conforms to our rules we lay out in the post model. Here we're checking to see if it passes. Here we're checking to see where if it passes, we're going to find that post by ID, and then we're going to update it with the input inside the form. And then we'll return the individual view for that post. If that fails, we're just going to return the user back to the edit page, and with the input, with any errors in the validator, and with this error message. And then to destroy, we're simply going to grab the post ID, find it by that ID, and then delete it. and then we're going to return the user back to the index page. So this completes the tutorial on the methods. In the next tutorial series we'll start creating the views. They won't be as long because we're just going to create for each view. It's going to be one tutorial. It's not going to be as long as this one. I just wanted to get through all these methods in one single tutorial. So if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments or ask me on Twitter, and I'll see you in the next video.